I slept in High Point Solution Stadiums for all summer.
I think we live in a time where spirituality is at an all-time low.
I've always chased him and everything he did. So anything he did, I did behind him. And I want to be better than him in everything.
To help your kid in any kind of sense, because you've been so unplugged from your academic journey.
Him, like, I kind of understood like what happened, and I was like, dog, that's crazy. You hear stories about that, but to like see it happening, and then to them accidentally do it to a dude, because it was probably like, because what I think happened was they gave the drink to his girl, and she gave it to him. So I think that's why he got fucked up like that.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild, honestly.
yeah. He was messed up, like bad. It was
Did
bad.
he only have like a little bit of it, or?
He drank like half the cup. And he was a big linebacker, 230 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I had a, like, you know, I got a roommate that's told me stuff about, like, he seen one and he had to save him, like, he had to go pour it out and stuff, like, to save her and shit.
Yeah.
She had no idea.
Yeah,
She was already drunk, messed up.
yeah,
And he's in high school. Like, he's just at, you feel me, where he's from, like, he's at that school, you
Yeah.
know? And it's just a normal frat party. And, Shorty's drunk, and he sees her having a conversation with another man, and, like, he's in the frat. She, like, leaves. He saw her put something in.
oh man,
And then he saw him,
yeah,
like, look at him put it in the drink.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
had a conversation, like, yeah, something. And it was like, it was on the line of, like, he
Yeah.
proved, like, why he did it, you know, and it's, as soon as he walked by, you know, he went over there, grabbed the drink, poured it out,
have
walked
to,
off.
yeah, have to, yeah,
Like,
have to,
and then, you know, he told me, he was like, man, I feel like I saved her.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, you did.
yeah,
You
most
saved her
definitely,
from a struggle, like,
most
a
definitely.
different path, like, the depression, the stress, like. that's
Oh yeah, the bigger picture of that,
The
yeah.
bigger picture.
But
for
I would
sure.
say the only thing you did wrong is you let Buddy just walk away.
Yeah.
But now he's gonna do that to someone else.
Yeah.
So let's say if he found a way to justify it in his own head. I mean, because you can justify anything to yourself.
Exactly.
You feel me? So if he did it once, he can justify it to himself again and do it again. But yeah, no, he did save that one girl. That's crazy. That's congrats to him. That's big ups. That's big ups.
But nah, yeah, like you saying, you gotta stand up to that though.
Yeah.
You do.
Oh yeah.
You gotta stand up to that for sure.
Yeah. And that's why, like, so to me, there's a fine line between like rape culture and like there's been a high volume of rapes. And I understand where women get mad, like in rape culture, to where you think like, cause like to say there's rape culture is to say that we live in a culture that is okay with women getting raped or people getting raped in general. And I don't think that's true. I think, you know, rapists go to jail. For me, men who
Definitely.
real men who see rapists, we don't like them. We think that, you know, POSs, we want to get rid of them, whatever.
Yeah.
But I get what they're saying, that in college, there seems to be a culture where that happens a whole lot more. Like party culture that seems to happen a whole lot more, right? And the thing, you know, Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
the thing that he got in trouble for was, he was saying, so he's not saying that rape was okay. He never said that. He was not saying that rape is ever justified and every rapist should go to jail and, you know, we should throw them under the jail. But he's saying that if it seems to be happening in this culture a whole lot more, it's idealistic, not realistic to think as a woman to not be a little accountable for, per se, going out half naked, right? Or you for me dancing on men sexually all night and then walking home alone. You feel me? It's idealistic to think that there's not these crazy, no sex having dudes out here that can't spit game that are just gonna go take it. Like to think that is crazy. So like it's the same as if I'm in the hood and I know over here if I wear this red shirt, I might get shot. And I go over there with the red shirt, am I not a little accountable for getting shot?
Exactly.
You feel me? It's the same, and that's what he was saying, and that's the same. You feel me? I feel like it's the same difference.
Yeah.
And they were trying to say he was misogynistic for that. And I'm like, but I think he's just trying to tell y'all maybe you should be smarter. For me, maybe not go out.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Yes.
And that's like the point that they hit on is just like, it's just from my perspective. Do you see how like, you know, we're talking about them not being aware of their surroundings and like not being accountable for their actions and stuff. It's like, I feel upset that I didn't even know that this was a thing.
Yeah.
And you just told me this, and this was 2 years ago, like when I first got here.
Facts.
And the fact that I was unaware that, like, that's alarming to me.
Facts.
And just, you know, hitting on being aware at all times of what's going on around you. And observing and seeing and watching.
Yeah.
And actually making sure that you're good and you safe.
Yeah,
and you can
facts.
do that. Like,
Facts.
that's so important, you know, like.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's a fact. Honestly, like, you know, what you hit on is just truth. It's just like, you know, like I wouldn't go to the hood wearing a blue shirt if I know that they beefing with the blue shirts.
The blue shirt people, yeah.
And I gotta be accountable for that, like, you know, like.
But I think our
Especially
generation
living in that
shows you that
environment.
in general. The
Yeah.
accountability and being aware. So like we don't live in a generation that is in tune with reality. You know what I'm saying? Like I walk around and people are not aware of
People don't look.
No.
People are looking down
Mm-hmm.
in their phones.
Yep. And when they are looking, they're not looking for the right things. They're focused on the wrong things. They're focusing on titties and asses. Focus on, you know what I'm saying, drugs. Focus on partying. Focus on Kim Kardashian.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They focus on the wrong things. And
Who beefing with who in rap?
you don't, dog, that. I made a post about that a few months ago because it was when, I don't know who had beef with, I don't remember. It was Dirk or Young, I don't know, one of them had beef or something like that. And I was like, bro, y'all are grown men out here fanboying over two dudes. I'm not listening to him anymore because he's I'm like, bro, y'all, that's weird. That's weird. Like, that's weird. That's weird.
That is weird.
That's weird. I don't care what you tell me, that's weird. You have too much time on your hands if that's what you're about to sit around and think about.
Nah, for real.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah. Like, thinking about another man's beef.
Yeah.
That's online and they're famous and most likely not going to do anything because they have security. And, like, what we don't understand is that, like, bro, reality is reality and social media is social media. Like, what we see and what they rap about is what they rap about.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's to keep us. They don't have to do that anymore.
No.
Because they have money. So when they have money, they have security. And security are like policemen. So like they're constantly with the police. Like at the time that they talk about beefing with people, like they're with the police. So they're least likely to get touched. Like basically.
Facts.
I mean, things happen though. Like, not gonna lie, like things do happen because I mean rappers do die. And
But that's good. You feel me? At a certain point though, is it not accountability? Is it not kind of their fault? Like, so like the Young Dolph one, I don't care. That's not his fault. The only thing that I would say is his fault is that you know people in your city don't like you. So for you to have the car that stands out amongst all cars, for you to go to the same spot every time you go out. I get it, you're human, you should be able to live but idealistic versus realistic, you know what I'm saying? You should be able, you feel me? Yeah. You should be able to do that. I realize that you're a human, you should be able to do that, but also you should also understand who you are. And if you're gonna do that, maybe not show up like that.
By yourself.
You know what I'm saying? By yourself, in the car that stands out the most. At the same time, you always go, you feel me? Do stuff differently. But at some point, is it, you feel me, not some of these guys' fault, like, to not be, well, I'm not even gonna say these guys. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's a black community in general. At a certain point in time, it's kind of like, why are we going to continue doing the same thing? Like, why are we not going to evolve?
Yeah.
Like, when is evolving going to come into play? Like, even with this Kanye and Kyrie thing.
Yeah.
Like, if whether you believe in Kyrie and Kanye, whether you think they're right, whatever, like about the Jewish thing, they're exposing all this in front of our faces, and we're arguing with each other about it. We're arguing. What is the argument? My man's Kyrie can't even play ball no more.
Yeah. The question is, are we gonna have each other's
Backs at this point in time. Can that finally happen? Like, that is, if we're being completely honest, that is the biggest difference between the Jewish community and the black community. A Jewish guy is going to get himself. He's gonna, so like, I know this guy who he's Jewish, and his dad owns a car lot. At the car lot, his dad owns it. His dad's cousin works there. Two of his best friends from high school that works with him. He has his best friend's wife's brother that works there. They're all Jewish, every one of them, and they all have their own businesses on the side. And every person that works there, people they grew up with. So it just so happens that they're all Jewish. It's not that Jewish people have this, you know what I'm saying, monopoly on the world. They might industry-wise, but that's not Jewish people. That's the government. You know, we'll get there in a second. But for me, they have this system. I'm going to protect mine. I'm going to put mine on. And just because you're not in my circle, I'm gonna still rock with you. You feel me? It's tribalism, but it's success tribalism. Because black people are tribalism too. Black people, you feel me? We like black people more. Whatever. That's fine. Whatever. But you hate on other black people that are doing better than you.
Exactly.
Jewish people don't do that. They're not out here killing each other. Instead of killing buddy, I'm gonna work with buddy. And we're gonna make $1 billion instead of $1 million.
Exactly.
And that's what the Jewish community does. And that's like what I think Kyrie or Kanye is really.
That's what he's harping on.
That's what the White Lives Matter t-shirts meant.
Yeah.
He was laughing like, bro, you guys say Black Lives Matter, but you guys. That was my thing about the thing in UK.
Yeah.
My biggest thing about the UK. Like, all right, okay, we spread the video, got her kicked out. It should have died there. Because that's what happens when a black person gets shot. We make some posts and then it dies. You don't march when another black girl slaps a black girl and beating her ass. Y'all share the video and you laugh about it. Oh, she got smacked. She got stomped.
Exactly, though.
You feel me? You're not out there chanting that black girl's name who got stomped. She called her a nigga and a bitch. Other black girl did. We're not doing nothing.
We call our girlfriends and our boyfriends
niggas and bitches all the time. But when a white person does it,
it's so degrading.
Wow.
Brother, the mouth, like the power, like of the tongue, is like so vital. Like what you say, like what you read, what you sow. Like what you say is what is most likely going to come true. Like most likely going to happen. Like, you have to speak positive. You gotta always be uplifting. You know, like I don't say it often, and I'm not gonna lie. Like it ain't like I say it, but like, bro, what's wrong with calling each other king, queen? Like we're not kings and queens.
Facts.
You know, like if we know that, why don't we address us
like that?
You know?
A higher name. Yeah.
Like why don't we hold each other up?
Right.
You know, like we always bring each other down or using each other as a ladder.
Yeah.
Stepping on each other. It's just like we can all come together for real and just understand that we all going through the same thing.
Facts.
Like we all going through the same thing. Like this hood look like that hood. This hood may not look like that hood over there in, you feel me, like Washington.
Right. Might be a little different.
How
you do things is different. Right.
How you do things is different. But what you going through,
the struggle is the same.
The struggle is the same, bro.
Yeah.
Like what you going through, what he going through, the struggle is still the same. And it's just like, you know, honestly, it's crazy to me because, you know, I wasn't always just thinking on this side though. You know, I can't just tell you that like I always thought this way.
Yeah, facts.
It actually took up until like my 8th or 9th grade year to start actually like seeing what the actual world was.
Right. What made you do that though? Like what clicked for you to make that happen?
And I'm gonna tell you straight like this. I'm from Springfield, Tennessee, and like that's the hood. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't, you know, like, it ain't no suburbs. Like,
Yeah.
it's Section 8. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's the bricks.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what it is, you know, like, it ain't no, it's not where everybody is. Like, everybody's sectional. Like,
Okay.
you know, like, the black people over here,
Yeah.
the white people all the way out there.
Yeah.
We're not even driving over there.
Right.
We don't need to. For what?
Yeah. Okay.
You
Yeah.
feel me? McDonald's down the street.
How big is the town?
Bro, it's like,
Bigger than Moorhead?
yeah.
Okay.
It's bigger than Moorhead for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like way bigger than Moorhead. I say it's like Mount Sterling or bigger.
Alright, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, so like Mount Sterling and Moorhead together. Probably.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
decent.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
what made me change my perspective was just like understanding that like being in the hood, like that's not the real world, bro.
Right.
Like you in the hood and
Right.
that's it. That's the world that you in.
Right.
And when I moved to another city, I actually started seeing like other ways and just like seeing how life really worked and how it operated. Like I didn't go into like my first 2-story house up until like my 9th grade year of high school.
Wow.
You know, like
Yeah.
I was used to going in the projects or going to the apartments or
Yeah.
going to Section 8 or
Right.
going to the park. You know, like just those were my like everyday activities.
Yeah.
And I made the most of it, of course, like
Right.
because that's one thing I say too. Like I'm not bashing the hood at all, because like the hood got the most creative people
Right. No.
in
Yes.
the world, bro.
Right. You're right.
Like,
But you see that now,
Yeah.
because now they're putting people on TikToks and stuff.
exactly.
And like are like Twitter and like
Yeah.
some of the funniest videos
Exactly.
and all the things that people create are coming from people from the hood, from black people.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Yeah, I
And it's
agree.
just like the ability to create something
Yeah.
out of nothing. Like,
Yeah.
From a young age, like that's so key and vital. Like, but the difference between me and the people that are still there is that they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I can say is that like when I had made that move, at the time I didn't even want to leave because I was so like caught up into my family and
Yeah.
my everyday life, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
learn anything else
Yeah.
new, because this was a life I knew,
Right.
and everybody that was here is the people that's always been here.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not traditional. It's not seen. Like the best opportunity is to make it through sports, but nobody like really makes it in sports there. You know, like people do make it for sure,
Yeah.
but it's just like not as much. So like it's possible to be like a great athlete, and then you know like just because of our demographic and how we live and like what's going on, colleges don't even come down there.
Down there. Yeah. For sure.
And we go in the state.
Yeah.
They go in the state like 3rd round, 4th round, semifinals, like
And people want to come.
and
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah.
Have winning culture. Our athletes got the best. The hood has always got the best athletes for sure. Yeah,
Most definitely.
for sure. Like all across the country. Yeah, for
Most
sure.
definitely.
And man, like that happens, like bro. Especially like with the what was we talking about? I had a brain for it. I definitely did. Definitely did. It was about the
Opening perspective, moving up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And that just goes to say, it's just like, bro, I'm blessed to even see life for how it is now.
Like, yeah.
Because I didn't even want to move, because everybody's so accustomed to staying
Right.
and not opening the box, like living outside the box.
Right.
Like we're in the box. Like,
Yeah.
You in the hood, you in the box.
In the
Like,
box.
And what
It's a
you know
mental
is what
box.
You know. Yes.
Not a real box. Not a real box, right?
Yeah.
Because you can. What's the game in my life? His song, My Life.
Yeah.
He's like, there ain't no bars, but niggas can escape.
Yeah.
So he's talking about it's a mental box.
Yeah.
And so what really made you come out that box? Like what, like, I don't know how to word the question. Like, what really clicked? Like, what was it like? What was the moment?
I say the odd moment was when I had moved to an area where it was a military base, like right near.
Okay.
So you know where Fort Campbell is, of
Yeah.
course. Okay. And I just saw people that look like me
Yeah.
be successful
Mm-hmm.
in other careers.
Yeah.
And that's like what opened my eyes up the most, because I went to a very diverse school, and I'm not like my first school I went to, like, you know, growing up, you know, they're like growing up in Springfield, it was just black people, Hispanics, and then white people. So
Mhm.
like wasn't no diversity. And then like it's crazy too, because in high school, 2 different middle schools, like they meet up, and Coopertown is predominantly white, and then you got Springfield, which is
Mhm.
predominantly black.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like they don't even grow up
Together.
pretty much, and then they meet in high school.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how like I view like everything.
Right.
And I moved to like right across town, like, you know, not too far, and I was accustomed to people of different cultures and different beliefs, like different backgrounds from all over the world. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I mean people that's coming from Germany, I mean people that's coming from Korea, California, Florida, Texas, and I'm coming from the hood,
So
so
that yeah. You mean
I'm
that?
like, dang, okay, I got a friend that's going to Italy like
Mhm.
next month.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's
Like,
crazy. Yeah.
you know, and it's like that's something I can talk about. Like
Right.
that's something I'm learning as well.
Right.
along the
So
way.
you learning from that. Yeah.
Exactly, I'm learning like, dang, like people are really coming from these places
Yeah.
and coming here
Yeah.
in my classroom. That's pretty cool. You
That's
know,
fire.
like
Yeah.
so like that opened my eyes up a lot, and just seeing black men and like black women be successful, especially in the military.
Yeah.
Like the benefits and the rewards that you get from, you know, like you serving the military, serving America, and I saw that and I was like, dang, like, it just enlightened my interest in the world more. Cause
Right.
it's just like, okay, that's another way you can make it.
Yeah. Sure.
And I didn't know this,
Yeah.
you know, a year ago,
Facts.
because I didn't see this. Nobody went to the military. Like nobody went to the military.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, like I'm not gonna lie, like the movies I seen growing up, they said don't go to the military.
Military. Yeah.
You know, boys in the hood, a black man doesn't belong in a white man's army. You know, like that's what I
Right.
seen when I was a baby. And it
Yeah.
was just like kind of clear, like nobody went. Even my friends, like we're not thinking about joining the military, doing all this. But when I go to my school, my friends are in JROTC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I'm still laughing at them, of course, like, because
Yeah.
but they my dogs, of course, but it still, like, sparks some interest in other categories in life. Just
Right.
understanding that, like, you can make it in other things.
Other ways. Yeah.
Like, it ain't just football and rap,
Yeah.
or selling
Yeah.
drugs,
Yep. Yeah.
or gambling. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't that no
You can
more.
do a lot of
Like,
things.
you got more options, you got more ways to go, you know?
For sure.
And that's what really like opened my eyes, honestly. Just, you know, like seeing what the parents could do for their children while I was growing up with them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when I moved, like I got a single mother, of course, and you know, it was good though. She was making her way, of course. Like
How many siblings?
Like I got 3.
Okay. You the youngest? Oh.
Nah, I'm the second. I'm the second youngest.
Okay.
So I got a little sister.
Yeah.
And they all girls though. So yeah, all girls. Single mother for sure. Door was closed. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, doors closed on me playing games.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to
If they needed something though, you know, I'm gonna come out.
Yeah,
do
sure.
laundry, all this, but
Yeah. No.
yeah.
I'm sure that's different, bro.
One fight, they all fight. Oh God.
Oh yeah, for
So,
sure. Yeah, you gotta pick your battles while you're in there.
Ain't no battles because I'm battling all at once.
Yeah.
It ain't no one-on-one. Nah, every single one of them will get on it.
Without getting too off topic, how does that affect you dating? Like dealing with women, how does that affect you?
It does, like, it affects me in a good way though.
Oh yeah,
Because,
like,
like,
yeah,
you know, like I know what they want, I know what they like. Like I dealt with them
yeah.
all my life.
Oh, you like,
So it's like, you
Yeah.
know, I know when, you know, you're upset, I know, you know, like how you are at that time of the month, like I understand.
Yeah.
But, like the menstrual cycle is natural.
Yes.
I understand, I got you.
yeah,
And that's like, you know, it does help me in the long run with relationships because like, you you know, I have a better understanding of him.
For sure.
It's easier like to talk to him because I've always been around him. Like
For sure.
it's never been a problem for me to have a female as a friend because
Right. Yeah.
you know, like
You had 3 of them.
yeah, I already got 3 friends at the
Yeah,
crib, so
yeah.
like, you know, it's just
Sure.
like I understand y'all,
For
like,
sure.
in a sense. But I mean, you know, I still had to balance, of course, like, you know, but I was with them though, like I seen them and I seen how they interacted and just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all, you know, I just understood women more. Like
Most
it helped me
definitely.
for sure.
Most definitely.
Definitely helped me understand like women.
So how'd you get into football or sports? Did you play other sports or you was football you only?
Alright, so at 5 years old, my first sport was baseball. So I started playing baseball, and then like that fall, I ended up playing football for the first year.
Okay.
So I played baseball from like 5 to 11. I was nice, no kid, like all-star.
Yeah. You
Played
didn't
against,
keep doing it?
Yeah, I did, but something had happened. It was like I was excelling in football and baseball at the same time, pretty
Mhm.
much, and like I was getting all-star for football, all-star for baseball, and you know I'm like fourth batter. You know what that
Yeah.
is? Cleanup, you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
and they had this thing called like fall ball, and that's like travel ball, like
Yeah.
you know, like you traveling state to state,
Yeah. Going
actually
everywhere.
competing.
Yeah.
And they had asked me to do that one time. And then I don't know why, like, but at that age it was just like, man, like, I gotta pick one. I don't know why. It was just like I gotta
felt like
pick
that.
between
Yeah.
football and baseball right now. And I just, you know, I just took the football route because I
Yeah.
loved it more. I mean, like my first time playing football, like my first year ever, like I won a Super Bowl. I got defensive MVP.
Yeah.
My first year ever
That'll
playing.
do it
I was
to you.
5 years old.
Yeah. No, yeah, that'll do it to you, especially in the South.
Yes, bro.
That'll
And
do
it
it
was
to you.
just like, bro, like,
Yeah.
and then I had cousins on the team that was already great, and like I watched them before me, you know, like
Mm.
I seen like they got signature moves that people doing, you know,
Yeah.
like growing up, like you know what I'm saying. So I'm seeing that, I'm experiencing it, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah, I want to do that too.
I want to do it too.
That
I
makes
probably
sense.
can do it. Yeah,
Makes
and
sense.
just my first year though, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I was just out there being a kid,
Yeah.
just running around, like
Yeah.
literally, I was
Yeah.
just running around.
Back, I remember doing that at 5. Yeah.
And you know, I guess I just was good at running around because.
Do you remember a lot of it?
Yeah,
You do?
I get a little flashbacks of it because,
Yeah.
like, you know, it was a very important part of my life because it was like the first year I was introduced to football. Like,
Yeah.
I got the Super Bowl, like I recovered fumbles, like.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was young, like I'm old enough to like it was so long ago, but like I still remember that like I was on the 5 and 6 team, but I was doing so well on the 5 and 6 team that they was putting me in the 7 and 8 games.
Mm.
So I was playing up.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's all like 6, 7, and 8 though,
Mm.
like the age group. So we practicing with them, but like we're not practicing with them though, because we got the 5 and 6 team, and we all smaller and stuff, you know. So I don't know what gave them, you know, the idea of just like putting me in, but when they put me in, I performed.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was just never scared. Like I
For
just
sure.
did it, you know. Like I just was always gonna do like, you know, what was meant to do for my team, you know.
Right.
Like, and I just like I was always a team player.
You like defense or offense more?
I'm gonna say defense for sure.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, like not just because I'm a defensive player, but like being an athlete, playing both sides, it's more thought and more persistence
Mm-hmm.
on defense.
Mhm.
It's really a mental thing.
Mhm.
It's a mental game at the same time because you don't know what's
They're
going to
doing,
happen.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you don't know what to expect, but
Yeah.
you're prepared for whatever.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go to battle against the man across you
Facts.
and prevent them from driving down the field. Like it's a mind game. So it's deeper than just like, okay, this is the play, run it. Like that's what you know offense. Like,
Facts. Facts.
you know,
Offense is more like, I know what I'm going, so I just have to be better than you.
Yeah.
Defense is like, I got better than you, I got to think smarter than you, I got to figure out, you know what I'm saying? There's so much, yeah, I agree with
I
that.
gotta mirror you. I
Yeah.
gotta watch your every move.
Yeah, I agree.
I gotta know what he's doing.
Yeah. People on my side, your side, yeah.
I gotta be in this spot when he motions and goes over. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's a mind game. And it's just like,
It's closest thing to chess
it's definitely the closest thing to chess.
with real people, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And, I mean, that's the thing, too, like, about football. Like, not everybody plays both sides, too. You
No.
know, like, not everybody understands, like, both sides of the ball.
No.
So, like, I think me, like, growing up and just, like, being a wildcat quarterback or, like, the running back, fullback,
Yeah,
and the slot, you know, like, that helped me understand, like, football more. I'm doing routes, and, you know, it's like, okay, now I gotta go play DB. If somebody stems the inside, they're most likely going to dig or a post.
yeah,
You know, and it's just like, you know, that helped me on the defensive edge because it's like, okay, I got the advantage now. So, like,
thanks,
I get to time it up now and just make the play. You know?
thanks,
And I think it's just bigger rewards on defense
yeah.
because you're not
Yeah.
appreciated. You know,
Yeah.
like, you're not appreciated as a
Right.
defensive player.
And you gotta make your own,
You don't-
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like the ball doesn't get called to you,
Yeah,
whatever, like if you wanna go make a play, you gotta go do it yourself.
you got to make the play
Yeah.
because they're not throwing the ball to you.
No.
Like, they're never throwing the ball to you.
No,
You know,
they're
like,
never running into you on purpose. They're, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. They're deliberate.
it's not intentional.
Yeah, I agree. So did you have like father figures since you grew up, mom, 3 sisters? So like,
Yeah.
you have a lot of father figures. Like, did men come into your life, or just coaches?
Yeah, I definitely had a father. You know, like, my dad, like, he lived with me up until my 8th grade year, pretty
Okay,
much.
okay,
So, like, you know, like, I always had him in my family, like, and he was, you know, here from the beginning.
yeah,
And, like, on the funny story, you know, like, you know how it goes. It's just like, with your parents, pretty much, like, my parents, for example, like, you know, my mom,
Yeah.
she the disciplined one.
yeah,
She just looking out for her baby though. She makes sure her baby on point, like,
Yeah,
especially in the, you know,
for
like,
sure.
growing up. And my dad, the chill one.
Yeah. Okay.
So he don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I'm asking to go outside. Like, I don't care. Go ahead.
yeah,
I asked her. She no.
no, yeah,
Or, you know, like, or it's another answer. So it's like, okay, he already my favorite. You
yeah,
know?
for
So
sure,
that, like, wasn't breaking the bond of anything. Cause, like, I love my mom, of course. Like,
for sure.
you feel me? I love my mom to death, you know, because she birthed me. So,
Yeah.
of course. So, but my father just, like, on the, like, lesson level and, you know, just him being there.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah,
and then the thing is, like, his discipline. Like, I didn't get discipline.
yeah.
I got counsel.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I didn't look at it that way because, you know, I thought I was getting nagged at or whatever, but I'm getting counseled.
For sure.
He not yelling,
Yeah,
lowering his voice, like, he trying to get at me in a different way than he did.
yeah,
And that showed me a lot. Like, just understanding now, because it's like, okay, like you said, a blueprint for me to
For sure.
do that for my kids.
for sure.
You know, like, you using your experiences and you basing it off how I'm gonna live growing up. And you, like, really meaning that, you know, because that, like, that's important, you know.
For
like,
sure.
And, you know, I used to always wonder, why other kids, like, got disciplined and I didn't.
Yeah,
And, like, I was equally as, you know, bad probably, you know,
Yeah.
but it was just like my learning, it didn't affect me, like, in a bad way growing up either. Because, you know, like, I learned those lessons.
Right.
So, like, potentially that can work for your child. Like,
no, it can, yeah, for
you
sure.
know, because it worked for me. Like, I ain't never had to see my sister get whooped.
Yeah,
It just never happened to us because, you know, it was just a different way.
right,
You know,
understanding, right.
a different understanding.
So like, cause you obviously make good decisions,
Yeah.
and that's a skill that you develop, right? And a lot of people, it's like my parents, they weren't big on spanking either. Like that was not really, like, but my dad's biggest thing was always making sure we understood that every decision has consequences, whether the consequences good or bad, every decision has one.
Exactly.
And like that's the biggest lesson I think that I've learned from my parents. And like I'm not like it's developing that in kids. Like that's one of the thing I'm trying to develop in my son. Like as soon as I can is like, even if it's something little, like but if you fall off that bed, you're gonna hurt yourself. So like I'm gonna let you fall, especially if I told you twice and you still go to the edge and you still I'm gonna let you fall. So you understand there's consequences or that happens, or so next time it's completely I'm staying away from the edge.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of parents miss that. It goes straight to spanking.
Yeah.
But you don't explain to the kid exactly why they're getting spanked. You know what I'm saying?
Repeatedly do the same thing, you know, like make the same mistakes.
You feel me? Yeah, exactly. There's no learning involved. There's no true comprehension of the consequence or the wrong decision that they made. They don't really understand that part or the depth of that part. And that's why spanking is kind of, you feel me, wishy-washy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't spanked my son. My son's 2, but it's only happened twice. And both times we're like, we pulled up to my best friend's house and we get out of the car and I park my car on the side of the road, not in the driveway, and he gets out and I get him out and I'm trying to grab his bag or whatever, and I start walking towards the driveway and I'm in the driveway and he starts going like in the middle of the road. And I'm like, hey bro, don't play in the road. Like we've done this before, like you know, I know you know what I'm talking about, like don't play in the road. Cause I said get out of the road before and he's gotten out of the road. So I'm like, don't play in the road, come on. He looks at me, he looks back at the road and he keeps like doing whatever. So then I say it twice.
Yeah.
And then the third time I was like, I'm not playing. And like I spanked him like twice.
Yeah.
And people like there was a woman out and she was standing on the porch and she was looking at me like, did he just really do that? I'm like, yeah, that is serious.
Yeah.
Like that's not something for me. I'm going to give you a lesson or a chance to understand because you get hit, you're dead.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give you that opportunity.
Exactly.
It's stay the hell away from the road.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's so like I feel like you gotta find there's certain times for spanking to be okay, and there's certain times it's not needed, and I think a lot of times it's not needed, and I do think there's an overcorrection of that. So I think like there was a generation that real deal was like
the teacher could spank him too.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it was.
Spanking.
It used to be like that, and the overcorrection now is people don't do any of that, and some of these people can't get spanked.
Yeah.
Or understand. See, I'm not even gonna say that. Now I'm gonna say they gotta understand the depth of the consequences to their action.
Yeah.
So like I'm so big on like, so like with Breakfast Club, you know we have Breakfast Club. Yeah. I'm kind of like if the punishment is not bad enough to where someone is okay for doing it 7 times, you need a harder punishment. Because like the punishment should be so bad that like I'm like, but I don't want to do that. So like if the only fear is I have to wake up early on a Wednesday, what kind of punishment is that? I'm probably waking up early regardless anyways. Because we're up doing weights, you know what I'm saying, anyways, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, regardless. So like, if that's the only punishment that I gotta do some bear crawl or something, but that's not bad enough. Like I never got Breakfast Club.
Yeah, me neither.
For me, I don't understand how you show up on time. Like it's literally the only way you get Breakfast Club. If you're late or you miss something, like, and that's crazy how you can do that. Like I get sometimes like, all right, you fall asleep, you didn't set your alarm. It happened once.
Yeah, it does happen maybe like once.
But like, bro, 3-4 times a semester, you just got an issue.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, you just got an issue. But the punishment should be bad enough that you want to fix that issue. And that's my whole issue with Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And the big scheme of thing, like I'm with it. Like if I was a coach, like I'm with it. That makes sense. But when you get up, just know you're about to get your ass right. We're about to get right. Like it's about to get right.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate it. Every second of this, you're gonna hate it. Especially if I was the coach that had to get up and do this.
Yeah.
You gonna
because I'm with you.
Exactly.
Like, for you not doing right.
Exactly.
It wasn't me. It was you.
You
know. So like, and then that's the thing too. Like most of those people like are looking externally for their problems.
Yeah.
So they point fingers, like not understanding that like what's going on is like within themselves.
For sure.
And then it does suck because like some people understand that it's within themselves, but like don't seek for no help.
For sure.
Or for it to get better and just open.
Yeah.
And you know, like just like the people lacking that skill of, you know, self-improvement and like self-enhancement. So,
Right.
and always like being uplifting is like a big problem in life. Like, you know, that's probably at least 6 to 7 out of 10 people that like don't have that skill
For
like,
sure.
lined up.
Yeah.
Like if something hits them, it hits them. And, you know, it's kind of hard for them to get back from it, you know, like, or to see the problem at hand and understand it, like, it'll all get better.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it's just another obstacle. And, I mean, as soon as you get through it, you're gonna rejoice, you know.
For sure. Exactly.
And you're gonna receive your rewards, like, you know, like, and that's just one thing about it, you know, it's like, especially like with just those type of people, like they find themselves like continuously doing it, because you know the offenses, I feel like, you know, I do kind of feel like they get a little worse, because it's like, I mean, they're doing the same thing, but now it draws attention to the people you're hurting. You know, like, okay, first offense, you know, you're doing it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Second, third offense, all right, position group.
Mm-hmm.
You letting your players down, like you letting your peoples down. People that you right beside every day, you're doing the same drills with.
Yeah.
You got to go out there with them.
Yeah.
Next offense, the entire defense, like, you know, or the entire offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you letting them down, like you letting the entire team down, like from your mistakes.
No, most definitely.
So it's just like, what you gonna do about that? Pretty much. It's like, you know, that's one thing too about it, because I mean, we see this and we got people like that, you know, and then we just sit back.
Yeah.
You know, like we just allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's a problem as well within like communities and ourselves. Like we don't help each other out. Like we always like down to people.
But they're not helping people out. So like I agree. You feel me? I agree, because that's, you feel me? I think that's why we both kind of do the things we do, like the positivity and all that stuff. But like my thing that I'm starting to learn is that sometimes, like in the sense of helping people out, some people just choose. You know what I'm saying? They just choose to not get it. Like,
Definitely.
so like there are groups of people, a group of people on this planet that truly. Cause like, so I had Devin Connors on my podcast, and we talked about, he made the comment, you know, the saying, no matter what you do in life, it's gonna be hard. Whether you choose to be lazy and take the easy way out and blah 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 blah, it's gonna be hard. Or you give it all you got, you take the, you know what I'm saying, the world, let's travel, you feel me, all that, it's gonna be hard. Either way, it's gonna be hard. And I think a lot of people choose this side because they can rationalize it in their head that it's not their fault. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So it's easier to choose this side, because if you can find, so like without getting too political, like this is the difference between like Democrat ideology and the Republican ideology right now. It's the Democrats are selling, for example, we'll give you food stamps. We're gonna give you handouts. We're selling our structural system is racist. Our structural system is made for men. It's not made for women. Our structural system for the family is designed to oppress women. For me, they're selling everything that's wrong in your life is the government's fault. So you should vote for this government because we're gonna come in and change it. And Republicans are more like, pick your stick about the dirt. It's your fault. Figure it out. Let's go. That's what Republicans are more like. They're more like, it's on you. It's on the individual to figure it out. I'm not going to spend taxpayer money on funding you because you're lazy and don't want to work. You feel me? That's how they see it. That's how it's broken down. And like, that's how I started like contextualizing it. So like, it's kind of, so once you kind of figure that out, it's easier to figure out where you lie.
And who's voting for you.
You know what I'm saying? It's easier to figure that out, because it's like, Like I'm saying, there is a group of people who really would rather have a bigger government, a bigger thing, because they don't want it on them. Like, it's easier to sit at the house and go to KFC and get a government check and just kick it at the crib. Like, it's kind of an easy life. You're not living an abundant life.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna be, I mean, if you think about it, like, it might be easy, but like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You know?
But no, we also gotta like take into account to understand it, just like the vast majority of us, which is like the 98% of us, we see the hard way on the side that's taking the most.
Yeah.
Like the people that make it,
Yeah.
they don't come back to the hard, like they don't go back to those areas. They don't showcase what it takes to make it in the hard way of winning.
Yeah.
Everybody's so accustomed to experiencing the hard way of losing and seeing it within their families or within their friends or within their situation and their surroundings, so they're so accustomed to it. So they just believe that that's just what everybody does and that's just the end. And they leave, like, you know, it's just like you trapped, you know, like, and you like living in life like now, it's just like we're never gonna get taught like how to escape from it. You know, like I didn't have class in high school where we talked about mental health and how it's important to always think positive and really be on that structure.
Facts.
We talking about math and, you know, like reading and history.
Yeah.
Like history is important, of course. Like
real history is important. What they teach in school is not. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to harp on that? We can harp on that for sure. But you know, it's just like we're not taught how to survive, bro. Like we taught how to get by. We're not taught how to live.
Right. But so like what we talked about earlier, isn't that? But doesn't that? So now it sounds. I feel like that adds to what I was saying earlier. Now it sounds even more sillier. I think we weren't recording when we said this, but it sounds sillier now to put yourself in a box of, oh, I'm not gonna listen to them because they're not from where I'm from. Well, obviously, people from where you're from are in the same hamster world, so
exactly.
You feel me? So you sitting here hating on it, but then only learning from people that come from that. It's kind of like you're putting yourself back in the hamster world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So why would you not learn from it? Like I can't speak on. So like I don't get knowledge, credibility in the black community because I'm adopted. So at a certain point in my life, I grew up in pretty much almost always the white side of town. I grew up, we never, you know what I'm saying, pretty nicely. I mean, not as nice as people think we do.
Yeah,
my parents were just always smarter about certain things, so we were just able to do more. Because my dad came up in Wisconsin, 9 siblings, no mom because she died when he was young. Dad an alcoholic, came from nothing. Like everything he ever got, he built from the bottom, like did himself. So like he instilled that in me, of course, whatever.
Yeah.
But so like I didn't grow up like people think I did.
Yeah.
Like you feel me? But so now I don't get credibility because they think I grew up way differently than them. But I'm just kind of like, bruh. So you're telling me basically what I'm hearing is I look like you. I didn't grow up like you, but I can teach you things so your kids can grow up like how I did, but you're not going to listen because I didn't grow up like you?
Yeah.
But I can teach you how to make sure that your kids don't have to grow up like you. But you're not going to listen to me because I didn't grow up like you. Doesn't that sound redundant? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking in a circle. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, especially if you can see that I know what I'm talking about. Like, I get it. Like, if you don't know me and you feel me, you can't really see. But like, if you know me, I feel like I haven't touched a lot of things that failed, and I haven't. You feel me? I haven't steered a lot of people in a lot of wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, so just because I didn't grow up, I grew up with 2 parents that were white, I can't help you speak on things, or like I can't speak on what I think is wrong in the black community, because I see it. I see white communities, instead of them, a dude has an opportunity. So me and my friend were just talking about this. So there was a black girl graduated college. She franchised out a Subway in her neighborhood, and I was happy that at least it was a Subway, it wasn't a McDonald's or something. Yeah. But I'm like, but if you have,
that's big time though.
No, it's huge. But at the same time, if you have money to franchise a Subway, you have enough money to get it from the ground and start your own restaurant. It's easier to start the Subway, and you can say I'm a business owner because you are. I mean, you own the business, but you don't own the name of that. So you have to, one, they give you all the rules. They give you everything that you have to follow inside the restaurant. They tell you how to make the sandwiches. You only can make what they can make. You can't use your creativity. You can't expand your brand. You can't do any of that. You have to follow what they have. You give them a percentage of your income comes to them. They're not doing anything but just giving you the name Subway. And I get you're like, at a point you're like, yeah, but because it's a Subway, I automatically have 20,000, you know what I'm saying, customers coming in. And it's like, so you're taking the easy way out, is how I'm kind of looking at it in that perspective. But that's neither here nor there for this example. But, you feel me? But I was just kind of like, bruh, at the same time, these white communities, they're not bringing Subway in here. That white dude, he's going to get it from the ground, and he's going to start his own sandwich shop. That's why, like, I love Georgia so much.
Yeah.
In Georgia, there's
like
5 McDonald's in a 30-mile radius. 5 McDonald's. You might see a Burger King, you might see a Wendy's, but you're gonna run into 8 different sandwich shops from a local person. Wing spots from local people.
Man.
And that's why the Georgia economy is so strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they understand if you eat here, I'll go here. We're not gonna shop at Walmart. We're not gonna shop at Target. We don't shop at Sports Academy. We go to other local people and we build it up like that. And that's why Georgia does so well.
Exactly, yeah.
And so like that to me was my issue with that. Was just like, I was just like, bro, like, I'm not saying I'm happy that she did it, especially a Subway and all the things she could have done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're still giving a good 50% to them people.
Yeah, and one thing also just about like us in the community, like, you know, like it's very important, and we don't really harp on this, but like it's very important to have ownership of things. Like
Exactly.
You know, growing up, I didn't have any idea of this, but like as I got older, like probably 18, 19, I started understanding that like ownership has power. Ownership has so much power. You know, you can survive off ownership. You know, like in the long run,
right?
Your kids, your grandkids can survive off ownership.
Most definitely.
And
the COVID taught me that. Like
yeah.
I was always big on like when we have money and like go and get that. But like during COVID, seeing like the people who had money were not affected by COVID.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They were not affected.
Ownership.
Exactly.
Just for example, like harping on that, we don't have anything like as far as like a big thing. I mean, the biggest thing so far is Yeezys.
Yeah.
But you got to think, it's so many companies that we buy from, like that's not of our descent, and there's no knocking them because they got some fly shit, of course. But you got Gucci, you feel me? Ferragamo, Fendi. You know, all these are last names.
Right.
You feel me? Like Bugatti.
Yeah.
Maserati, like all this is family last names.
Yeah.
This is ownership. That's like forever.
Yep.
Like when are we gonna have our last names in something?
But for me,
you know.
So my question is, so this is what we're about to segue into this because I'm happy you brought this up.
Hey, I already know where you're headed with this too. You gotta say it.
So my first question to you is, I'll start with this. Who do you think is at fault for Black people not understanding that concept? Understanding that, because like, if I'm being honest, I plan to be a billionaire. Like I plan to be 1% of the 1% of the 1%ers. So like I'm like, that's where I'm headed. And so even when I get to that point, I'll probably never be into Bugattis, all that. You feel me? I might get me a nice Audi or something. Just, you feel me, for when I'm pulling up to some special events, maybe. But like, the only way you'll know I'm rich is from coming to my house. Cause my houses are gonna be that.
Yeah.
You feel me? But that's not just for me, that's for like my family in the future and stuff, you feel me?
Yeah.
But like cars and like designer clothes, I've never had interest in. And it's because I understand that fact. Gucci is literally just some dude who made some clothes, and now they're charging you an extra $500 to wear it when it took Buddy $10 to make it in some of his time. And like I respect the hustle, and I respect the, you feel me, the oh, you bought the brand up from nothing. I respect all that. I'm not hating none of that. But I want my people to understand that while you're spending $600 on that Gucci bag, you feel me, all the other people you're trying to impress with that bag, for me, that does nothing. That does nothing.
$60 for somebody to make something for you.
Something for you. A nicer bag, that your own name on it. That probably would be low-key harder than the Gucci bag.
Nah, for real.
You feel me? And you could have spent that other money some way smarter. Done something way better with that money than a freaking bag that you're gonna have and replace.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so my question, why is it so hard for the Black community, do you think, to understand that fact?
I think a lot of stuff, like, you feel me, within our community is hard to see and acknowledge just because, like, it's just not on the forefront as much. It's like really hidden, you know, like it's just not like so blatant because we so distracted with everything else going on.
Yeah.
It just lessens the time for us to think about other things and create and just find different options and ideas.
Facts.
You know, and create, you know, because we live in it, like people are living in survival off the rip, trying to get by on a day-to-day basis.
I don't know. See, I think I kind of disagree. I can tell you why. I think survival for America hasn't been survival since the Great Depression. Americans are living in comfortability.
Yeah.
They're in comfortability. We don't have to go hunt to get our food. We don't have to farm to get our food. I'm waking up. You can wake up and you can check to see what somebody else is doing. You're not waking up and going to that hen house and getting eggs for your breakfast. You're walking to a refrigerator that took you 90 cents to get those eggs.
No, for real.
You feel me? You go to work to your 9 to 5. You're sitting at your 9 to 5. You're not working the whole time. You sit in front of a computer, you're touching this, you do this, blah, blah, blah. You're sitting on your phone now.
Yeah.
You live in America, we're living in comfortability.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just like as far as like survival, like living to get by. Like living to make, you know, to get by day to day.
Yeah, day to day.
Like rather than like looking full scale, like families to come behind them.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause I mean, we all got purpose and life is a different meaning for.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like some people don't even feel that they have meaning, you know?
Right.
Like it's just a lot of people that just don't even believe that, you know, like they can get to a certain level.
Right.
Like, because that's not just what they're comfortable with, that's not what they're used to. And you know, just saying like comfortable, like they're not comfortable with thinking that way and projecting that onto them. And just, they don't, like, you know, they see how short it is, like how possible it is to make it, and then like they just weigh the odds up and just
they're like, I'd rather not,
you know, do what works, you know, like what they've seen for, what's paid for them.
I will say that one of the biggest things that I feel like as a person, you know, energy person, when you go to these lower income places and stuff, the biggest thing energy missing is hope. You feel me? The sense of hope is gone, and that makes sense. I get what you're saying. Like, they don't have, they're losing the purpose, so it's like, why? Yeah. But I also think that comes with how we built America in the last 2 years.
That's how we built it.
That's how it's built. You feel me? Why would I? But that also, like I was saying with the Republican Democrat side of the picker, or it's everyone else's fault, our systems are bad, or it's you. So like, once you decide that it's me, I'm at fault for my own things, you can fix those issues in yourself.
Yeah.
And you can then therefore find hope. And whatever your hope is, you should be able to then learn to make money from it. Exactly. Now, it might be 5-6 years before you make your first dime from it. So like
your creativity.
Yeah, exactly. And but creativity makes you happy. Being a creator makes you happy.
Yeah.
But you only can do that if you have the opportunity to create.
Exactly.
And that's where our whole system is wrong. And I think that's why depression and all that stuff is so bad. Is because people are because think about it, right? From a certain point, it's no longer take this picture and draw whatever you want on it, whatever. I want it this color, this way, this way, this way. I wanted this, and if it's not this, you're getting a C. They give you that rule brick, and they take your creativity, and that's the whole point for me. And that's. I mean, I was watching something the other day, which is crazy, because I never thought about. Because I don't know how big your conspiracy brain is.
Oh, it's there.
Is there? Okay.
It's there.
So, I'm one of those.
You know, I'm gonna harp on that as well too. Like whenever we finish too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm one of those. We've had this in America since. It was way before Kennedy. It was way before Kennedy, and it was way before. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say before World War II. I would say somewhere in there. There started being a force in America that was really about controlling the mass of people.
Monopoly started forming.
Yeah. Because you feel me, like America in our Constitution is literally designed to stop monopolies from happening.
Yeah.
It's literally to stop them from happening. But if you can control the politicians, so if you are a company, groups of companies, right, and we can control the politicians, we can control the way things are getting voted in our favor, you feel me, whatever, we can start controlling more things. So I'm under the complete belief, because you look at how things have functioned. So like it's we have been under their plan from elementary school up, and it stems from
preschool.
It stems from getting women out of the house. So now we got women out of the house because they're getting jobs because we've empowered them. So now what is happening to the kids? They're getting placed in the control of these teachers. So what happened? They got the federal government got more control of how public schools are getting ran. Like this is all in the matter for me. It all happened in a plan. They got women out the house. Now we got control of the school. So now you're sending your kids to us for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We're teaching them what we want to teach. We're putting them in. People always say, "Oh, school kind of looks like a factory." Well,
it is.
duh. Like, duh.
Like it's your work day.
You feel me? That's what they want.
Shift.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. That's why you're there for that long. That's why you wake up that early. That's why you gotta raise your hand to go pee. That's why we're on a strict schedule. It's just like going to work. It's the same thing. They're teaching you from an early age, and then it stems from when you go to college. Now you're completely out of the grasp of your parents, and we can indoctrinate you into anything we want to indoctrinate you into. We can indoctrinate you into this progressive whatever that we want to. And now you go to these jobs. So now you're getting jobs at these corporate businesses, and you're pushing down all the things that we just indoctrinated you on.
Exactly.
For the last 22 years. And it's getting pushed down. And now we just changed the whole culture of America by doing that. And that is literally what has happened since about 1960. And we're looking at what like in our faces, right?
Yeah, that's the thing though, and like that's what everybody that's what everybody's so accustomed to.
Yes.
And that goes back to being comfortable in conformity.
Yeah.
Like like when the masses, like when we all see like one thing that like guarantees success or like comfortability, like a way to get by, like that's just what we gravitate towards.
Yes.
And I want to harp back on what you said, like this started from like school. Most importantly, I learned this a year ago, and it's been in my head ever since. Like it was so crazy when I heard it. I was just like speechless, like bro, that's wild. It got me on it because put it like this: when you start school. Like what year? How old?
Like 4 or 5.
And like what was that? Pre-K, kindergarten?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. So I'm gonna walk you through pre-K to 5th grade. Your classrooms, how they set up. You got crayons, you got colors, you got vibes, you got energy, you got books.
Yeah.
You got positive, like you got all this happiness within there. Middle school year, what happened?
It started getting lower and lower. Yeah.
Shit gets dull. So 6th grade, you got it.
Yeah.
7th grade, not really. A little bit. 8th grade, a little bit. High school, walls look like this.
Yeah.
chairs, the desk look like this.
Yeah.
Ain't no colors,
Yeah.
ain't no vibes, like, and you feel me, you getting tired. You got what? It's about year, 9, 10?
Yeah, at this point.
In your career,
Yeah.
you break it down, you tired. Everybody fighting now at 7:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because they
Nobody
going to
wants
work.
Yeah. Going to
I
work.
don't even want to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
It don't even look fun. Like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, look at the walls. Like, that's what it was. Like, the
Yeah.
walls was just blank. You feel me? Like, that's what we seen. But like growing up, like from 1st through 5th, we got recess all day. We got the freedom to do what we want, like for however long. You know what I'm saying? Like we doing stuff.
Kind of
we
like
having
babysitters.
fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
Like
at school. I'm getting babysat.
Exactly. Like we having fun though. We enjoying it. And
Yeah.
we got colors. We still drawing in art. They ain't really grading hard in art.
Right.
You feel me? They don't. You feel me? They letting us create whatever it is. Whatever we got on that paper,
Yeah.
it probably was fucked up.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I'm saying? We can look back and be like, oh shit, like that shit was pretty ass. But
Yeah.
in our mind, like, that's what worked. And then at a certain time, as we get to high school, nah, it's not the right shade.
Wow, you
That's
think-
not the right color.
This is maybe. Do you think that's why they started funding liberal arts?
Yeah,
You think so?
probably.
That's part of the reason. You feel me?
To
Now that
limit
you just said
creation.
that, yeah. Dog, I didn't. That's why liberal
Like,
arts
we
would be
got
the
doled
first
out.
thing to go. Yeah.
We got doled out from middle school on.
That's crazy. I never thought about it. Yeah.
Like,
You're not wrong.
we got doled out from middle school on. Because as we got older, the teachers started saying, yeah, the next grade ain't gonna allow this. The next grade ain't gonna allow this. They don't play in high school, so I'm gonna get on you in 8th grade. And then it just fluctuates, and it's just like, okay, they starting to get more strict, more enforcing laws, more enforcing rules, like more dramas happening, like more stress, like, and we ain't even got a mental health class, like we don't even got the stress.
Well, the school system, the classes that we have in the school system are crap anyways.
Exactly, bro.
You know, and that stems from the fake history they teach us. That stems from, you know, history class to me was always the most bogus. But that stems from, in general, the fact that we had, I had to sit there and read or go through stupid technology classes to learn how to type, but I didn't learn how to balance a checkbook. I didn't learn how, you know what I'm saying? I didn't learn about tax codes. I didn't learn about all that stuff. But I mean, that stuff is on purpose. So like, I was having a conversation the other day with somebody about the tax code book. And they didn't even know there was a tax code book. And then 2, they were like, they didn't know that it's a, 7,000 page book or whatever, 150,000 or 7. Wow, see, I'm a little anorexic when it comes to dyslexic when it comes to numbers. But for me, it's like a 7,000 page book.
Yeah.
And the first like few hundred pages is how to properly do your taxes. The rest of the book is how to legally do tax evasion.
Wow.
But people don't know that. But you only know that. But so that's why I was saying earlier that our country is literally set up for entrepreneurs. Because you only get access to the tax code, you know what I'm saying? You can get access if you're anybody, but you only truly look for it if you own a business. Because you're trying to figure out little things. But what you start to learn is the everyday person can do different things to pay less on taxes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like way less on taxes. And while I was having this conversation with this person, they were just mind blown that the book was that big and only the first so pages were only how to legally pay your taxes like a regular person. And I'm like, bro, I can show you throughout history how our country was literally set up for us to defend everything that's happening to us right now.
Wow.
Like literally everything. When you talk about from them censoring people, freedom of speech,
Yeah.
there's a reason why our founding fathers put freedom of speech like that. Because as soon as you start censoring one person, we can make up justifications to start doing it to other people. And isn't that what's happening? And they're doing it through Facebook and all that stuff, right? You talk about the Second Amendment. People think the Second Amendment is for us to be able to walk around with a handgun in your hand.
Yeah.
No, sir. The Second Amendment is because back in the day, when they first the colonies were formed or whatever, before they truly separated from England, People, when England, like when the French Indian War came, people, when the soldiers from England came over, they would force their way into the people's houses, and the people had to live there. Or the people had to let the soldiers live there and take their food and do all that. You feel me? All that was there. So the reason that they put that law there is to protect themselves from the government.
Exactly.
Again, that's what it's there for. It's not there so me and you can go to the movies with a handgun on our lap.
Yeah.
It's there so when the government comes knocking on our door demanding stuff that's ours that we own, we can protect ourselves. So when you think about, so when you start looking at the amendments like that, let's look at what's happening in our world. Isn't there a push to take our guns away? Why do you think that is? Because they want to protect kids at school? No, that's not why you want to take guns.
That's what.
You feel me? Do you really think that's why Joe Biden gets up there and preaches about gun control? No. Heck no. They're not trying to take your guns because they're worried about the crime that they're allowing to happen in the city. For me, because what are we really talking about? Chicago, New York, LA. California has some of the strictest gun laws. Illinois has some of the strictest gun laws. New York has some of the strictest gun laws.
They don't make guns that are being used though.
You feel me? Because the people who are following the law aren't the people out here shooting people anyways.
Yeah.
So what sense does it make to make a law? Because the people not, you feel me? So that's my whole thing about laws in general. So anytime they come up with new laws, I'm just like, bro, the person who is breaking the law in the first place does not care about the law. So what is that law about to do?
Yeah. No, for real though. And that's kind of crazy though. Like it gives it gives them like a different perspective of like how we're supposed to use them. And I mean, just looking back, I mean, being a regular citizen, like, I don't be looking at my rights like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Not every day. Like nobody just sits there and studies it.
Right.
And that's crazy though. It's just something that like we should be aware of and understand. Like, if we understood how the law worked and how they work for us, potentially be a change.
Right.
And it's power to the people. So,
see, I think they've learned how to weaponize the law to think the law is me versus you.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
crazy.
The law is me versus them and protecting me from them.
That's
For me,
crazy.
that's really what the law is for. And people tend to look at the law as us versus each other, and that's not it. It's us versus them. And it shouldn't be that way. For me, you would think, because I mean, it's a reasonable expectation for people to believe and trust in our government. I guess that's a reasonable expectation as a human. Just like we were saying earlier, it's a reasonable expectation as a woman for you to feel like you should be able to walk down the street and not be harassed and all that.
Really,
that's a reasonable expectation. But at a certain point, bro, you gotta look at history and realize that reasonable expectation is a dream. A dream. Because everything that's happened in our country has happened before. It's happened in history. And I mean, it's almost identical. So if we look at so my favorite comparison, this is my favorite comparison to what's happening in America, is the comparison to the Nazism that happened in Germany. And my favorite way to show people how close we're related. What the Nazis did was anytime someone, before they took power, because they didn't just storm the Capitol to take power. They were a political party. They slowly took over the Senate and the House and did all that. They slowly put people in positions. They slowly corrupted the police in Germany and did this, you feel me? They did all that. And what they would do is, anytime that someone would oppose them, they would do things like call them racist, call them, you feel me, whatever, that already had a negative connotation to it in Germany. So if you were, whatever it was back then. And so therefore, whenever they did that to you, we, the people, would just be like, we're not gonna listen to what he's saying. He's a racist. He's a homophobe. He's a whatever. And I'm like, but, so now that you know that, look at what's happened to us in the last 10 years. Any person that opposes something, a different idea than what they want you to believe, what are they? You're racist. You're Uncle Tom. You're, for me, whatever. Like, you're not even giving me a chance to, you feel me, explain out what I have to explain out. You're just calling me that off rip because I don't agree with you. You just labeling me.
Cancel culture is crazy.
Horrible.
Cancel culture is crazy.
But every person who thinks that cancel culture is new hasn't learned history.
Exactly.
It's old.
It's been out.
People have done it for years, and it happens, and it's literally the start of communism. That's when I started becoming more awake to what's going on.
Yeah.
When I was able, because I've always been into history,
Yeah.
and the craziest history to me was always Nazis, because they're pieces of crap. What they did is terrible, whatever. But if you can't sit there and marvel at what they were able to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? The coming up in power to convince a whole country to let them run. That man Hitler getting up there and speaking and talking crazy, to them being able to convince the German people that they're not taking these people on trains and killing them. Like, to be able to convince people of that. The propaganda that goes into that. Like, it's crazy. Like, and if you can't sit there and marvel at that, then I don't know if you're ready for this world.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just marvel. Like, that's crazy.
Like, how you was able to manipulate
a whole country.
Manipulate a whole country, a whole like a whole specific race, like a whole specific identity.
You feel me? Now think about it. The way they did it was they were able to convince the whole country that Jews were not only bad, they were, you feel me, the reason that the people are whatever.
Yeah.
Germany's down bad, whatever. So now so in the communist book that was written by one of the Nazi leaders, he said that they used the term useful idiots. So there were people in Germany that were useful idiots. They would believe everything Hitler said, they riled them up, and they used them to push their agenda. We got a lot of useful idiots in our country, and they don't, you feel me? And I personally don't like to use that term because I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
You're getting played. Like, your life is getting played, and you're perpetrating that on people.
Yeah, that's wild though.
You feel me? And I think the thing that makes me most upset is when you realize that the black community probably has the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, probably has the
Blind
most.
blind right now.
And they assassinate and get rid of the people who aren't blind.
Exactly. They take them out, they gone. Like, so who you gonna look to?
Who? We're gonna look to the people that are rapping. Pushing. But
Man.
this is gonna get me canceled. I almost hate the rap industry 100%. And the thing that's really pushed me over the edge is what's going on with Young Thug. If they are really out here racketeering like that, killing people, really bringing drugs into the city, really, you know what I'm saying, extorting people, doing this, why are we wanting them out of jail? Why do you want that back in your community? Like, let me know. Like, I get he's making music and he's putting people on and he's helping rappers get.
Yeah.
Why do you want that other part back in your community?
I put it like this, honestly, and I'm not gonna get third eye deep into it yet, but just hitting back to like the rap industry and like, you know, I don't believe you would get canceled for like hating or being mad at the rap industry for what's going on at the moment, because I feel like any blind man should be able to see and observe like what they're listening to. Understanding it, like that motivates you to act upon what you're listening to.
Yes, because you're reciting it.
You're reciting it. You're
You
saying
said it
it. So
earlier,
you're emulating it.
Yeah,
like,
you said it earlier.
You're predicting it for you.
Yeah.
For yourself. Like, the word of the tongue, like word of mouth, is like so important. And like you saying you finna murder somebody, like that's what you finna have. Like that emotion is gonna wear off. Like it's gonna appear. And like that's what mode you in when you listen to that song. So you're more likely to do that. You're more likely to do that when it's another situation on the line. Like you have something that could potentially murder somebody. So it's just like, you know, the wordplay within the rap industry. I started taking a different approach on it because I started looking at things that like were more upbeat and more happy. or like more inspirational, like more lit, rather than murder or somebody smoking on him, somebody smoking on him.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's cool and all, but like,
That's
we
not
hurt
what I'm doing.
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what I even want to do.
Yeah.
I hear somebody say something about dying in the song, I don't even say the word.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't want to project that onto myself.
Yep. Other
Like, why
people
would I say
around.
something
Yep.
about die? Like,
Yep.
that's not what I want to talk about. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I want to put into my forefront right now.
Facts.
And you know, like words are spells. You know, like it's called spelling for a reason. You know, like it's a spell. Like you know, like words are spells. It's called spelling for a reason. But harking back on Young Thug's situation, bro. I want to say, like from the bottom of my heart, like, you know, it's the most, like, it's one of the most tragic situations, like, known to this generation, especially, like, you know, people my age, because we grew up with that man, for sure. So, like, we know everything that he done or, like, did, especially in a good light.
Yeah.
You know, and then seeing, like, this that was done behind, it just, like, for me, personally, like, okay, now I'm, like, tapping back into, like, the third, I'll be like, some of that stuff, like, and you know, like, I probably might get, you know, somebody might have to say something about this or whatever, but some of that wasn't up to him. Like, a lot of that was, he had to do it. And that
Like,
was
what do you mean? Like, which part?
As far as just, like, you know, and we getting deep now, and it's just like, you know, as far as the rap industry goes, you know, like, that's the devil, you know, like, that's what it is, you know, like, it's not just a normal, like, thing, like, you know what I'm saying? The devil was an angel who could sing.
Yeah.
You know, and he has a chokehold in the industry, so, like, it's not, you know, what's done on the forefront ain't all good. That's why they on drugs, like, you know, like.
Facts. No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody don't see that though, or don't understand it. It's just like they living in fear. Like, like when they sign a contract, that's like they have to do what they're told from that point forward.
From that point forward, yeah.
So it's like either do that or your money's gone.
Yep.
And you know, like that's just like what happens in this situation is just like, you know, I know he's a human at the end of the day, and I'm sure he thought about everything he's done. But then you gotta think, if that's the only way he can eat, then who are we to blame him for his reasons and repercussions? Because it's all about perspective and understand, like, hey, the way that he's seen it and the way he did it, like, it's not accepted by nobody. Because I mean, it's not good. It wasn't good, like, for what he did behind the scenes for doing it, because it caused harm to your community. But you kind of forced upon doing it, because that's the only idea that's being pushed, pretty much. And that's like what you got to do in order to stay ahead, stay ahead and stay in it. And stay winning for your family.
I agree with you saying.
And it's just like, you know, they get put in a bad situation. And that's like one of those things, like, man, like, I gotta be prepared for it, like, and be aware of, like, you know, in times coming. Because, like, you know, just like you said, you're trying to be a billionaire, I'm trying to be a billionaire. Like, you know, that's where I'm trying to go in life, you know, like, I ain't selling myself short. Why would I? If I know that I shouldn't have to. Like, I have the ability not to, so why not? You know?
The world is yours.
That's how it is in life. Like, I feel like everybody should understand it as well. Like, you know, if you have an option or a choice to, like, sell yourself high or sell yourself low, like, why would you choose to sell yourself low?
Right.
You have a choice to view yourself in the highest way possible. Like, no one said you couldn't. Right. And even if they did, they're not you.
You're right. Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean it's the truth. You should carry it on throughout life. Like, you should live life how you feel like you want to live life. And at your highest.
At your highest point,
like, at your highest point. Like, that's the most important. Like,
most definitely. You
know, some people blinded by, like, not seeing it and, like, understanding that they can get to their highest point. And,
it's not easy, but it can happen.
It's not easy, but it can happen.
You feel me? That's why it's not easy, because everybody can get there, but no, not everybody will.
Yeah.
But the reason it's not easy is because in order to get there, or in order to come to that understanding, you gotta go through the things to make you understand those things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so this segues into my next question. What is one of the hardest things you've been through in your life? And what did you do to pull yourself out of that situation, out of that place?
I mean, it's a few hard situations, but I say as of recent, you know, because I mean, like being from where I'm from, like we got a big sense of pride, like and energy towards the city. Like we know it ain't much, but we make the most of it and we rep it on our backs. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a big pride in like coming from that area because we not like nobody else.
Right.
You know, like everybody, like we us and we family, like we all know each other. We all live together, slept in the same house, and slept on the same floors. You feel me? So like just having that upbringing, like that made me like understand family, like understanding togetherness and like having your family back in.
Right.
And like doing things like for them. Like I stopped doing stuff for me and like looking out for them more, like growing up, because I mean, me moving and like finding a different path in a different way, people look to me in a different sight.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was just moving and, you know, like just say what's up here and there. You know, like they like wondering what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And how I'm living.
Yeah.
Differently from them.
Right.
And I understood that at like a young age, and one of the hardest things for me, especially as of recent, was I had went to New York, and this was my first time like going to New York ever.
It was fire, wasn't it?
Bro, lit.
Yeah,
like,
I love
for
New
sure.
York.
Like,
Where'd you go?
I went in March, like spring break.
What'd you go for? Just to go?
Yeah, just to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it was lit. It was just like a why not thing. And
Right.
that's the thing, like we all got the ability to do that, bro.
Yeah.
We do that at any point in time,
Yeah.
like, bro. We living in the game, bro. You have the option to do whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I just did that just because it was just like, okay,
Yeah. Why not?
yeah, I got a little bit of bread. Like, I got it. I'm gonna be straight. Like,
For sure.
for a weekend, Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
It was lit.
Where did you drive?
Yeah, we drove from here,
Yeah.
and it was like what, a cool 7. It wasn't even that bad for it. It was like it was pretty doable.
Yeah, I did that too. We did that because we went up to see Vinny.
Yeah.
And then we recorded with some coaches and stuff up there.
That's lit.
We did that in March too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
bro. New York is so lit. But back to the story. One of my closest friends from home, you know, like he never left. You know what I'm saying? Just my best friend, though, like one of my best friends, like basically my cousin, like
Yeah.
you know, and he slides up. He's like, "Dang, you lit." And you know, like he's facing battles, you know, like or whatever at the crib, and it's just like, hey, bro, like we gonna be here one day. Like,
Yeah.
we coming back.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yeah, for sure.
And me and all the guys, like, we gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this was in March, and I want to say like April, May. You know, like something that like happened. You know, within my friends and whatnot, and they facing battles and like charges at the moment, and these are the same guys that like I literally like was with every day.
Yeah.
Every day for my life, like through the first 13, 14 years.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
So like from, you know what I'm saying, daycare to after school programs to football practice to same high school, same class, Mr. Green class, math class, like running back, fullback, quarterback, wide receiver, playing pitch up in the backyard, cookouts, get-togethers, like those same guys, like, you know, that didn't get the same opportunities I got. Like that was like one of the hardest things I had to like witness, because you know it's just like I'm at a point where I could potentially see them when I'm 40 now, rather than seeing them tomorrow when I go back home.
The changes. Yeah.
And it's just like that was one of the hardest things about it. One of the hardest things about it was just one of those like, man, I feel like I could have talk to them.
Right, maybe done something different.
Did something different,
Yeah.
or like, you know what I'm saying, stay tapping in more.
Yeah.
Or like let them come spend the night with me.
Yeah,
Just
type.
little things like that, just letting them come stay with me
Yeah.
for a weekend, having fun and experiencing something else because I mean they hardly came like to my city. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and to actually stay with me and stuff and just like see something different, experience something different. See, like I never showed them like a girl that like was from Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Like I got Puerto Ricans, all types of like, you know what I'm saying, different people in my school. And like, I wasn't really able to like, you know what I'm saying, expose them to that.
Yeah.
And like I could, like I was exposing them and showing things like on the, you know what I'm saying, like media levels for sure.
Yeah.
Like when I understood that like people look for me as if like, you know, like a sense of leadership or like something, a different path.
Right.
And like I always watch my every move. Like, you know, I started approaching my media that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because it's like, how do I want to be remembered?
Mm-hmm.
Like I always understood, like growing up, that like I wasn't, you know, like the same person next to me. Like I was left-handed from the get-go, so everybody like you
off that, it's different.
Off that. And then first of all, I'm for sure like the lightest in the hood. Like I was the light skin. Like I was the light skin. I was the lightest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was one thing too. Like that's the difference. Like I'm always trying to be different because of that. Or like I talk one way, or I thought about this, and then everybody else thought of this, and it was just like you always trying to be different. And then like, you know, growing up even in the house, like my mom, dad, like, so you just do what you want to do, or like you always trying to do something else. And then, you know, like it got to a point to where like I turned like 17, 18, and my mom like understood like just like who I was. And it was just like I just wasn't like other people. And like my thinking and my viewpoint is completely different, you know, and it's just like every move that I have like tried to do or attempted to do, like it came out good in the end, or like looking full scale, like I never really wanted to do anything wrong, so it's just like you might as well let me rock out, you know. And I got my biggest like decision in life. Like I made my biggest life decision as well when I was 17. I left the crib for the first time and moved to Atlanta with my teammate. Yeah, that was major. Like it was senior year, mid season.
You moved like for the rest of the semester? Because you said you graduated early.
Yeah, I graduated early, so it was that fall. Like I ended up transferring like in September of 2019, and I finished out school because when I got there, it was a different grading scale, and then like the classes were counted as like different credits. So like we had periods back in Tennessee, and they had blocks. So like each block you went to, it was a full credit for like that semester. And then in Tennessee it was half a credit. So you had to be there. Yeah. So as I'm taking like the last few classes in my senior year in Georgia, there was like, you're gonna have like 26, 27 credits like after the semester. Like, we're just gonna put you on like gym or something if you come back. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me sign this, go ahead and get out of here. You know what I mean? Like just start life pretty much. But that was, I mean, just experiencing that on my own, that was like one of the most eye-opening things as well, because I showed, you know, like it was my first like time being away from home, and then it was within that community of people, you know, like black people that are, you know, you don't even see them on, you don't gotta see them on social media to see that they're successful in life. Seeing another alleyway of like how you can make it, and like the other ways that it takes, like it just opened me up to another realm, like wing spots, food, restaurants, like you know, like it's black home. You see more black owned businesses. You know, I'm like getting into the vibe. Like I go to Linux, and I just got on whatever, and then it was just like people was approaching me to buy these like $100, $200 shirts, and I'm from, you feel me, like I'm from this. I'm like, damn, like what made you just come to me and just be like, hey, like $200 shirts? Like you think I can afford it?
Yeah, you think I got that? Yeah.
So it was like, okay, like I started finding myself more and just understand like, okay, like I do got what people do just see me say, hey, smile, and I never met a stranger before, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the coolest dudes, like, anybody could ever meet, because, I mean, I don't judge, and then it's like, I'm me, and how you doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just was always taught that way, and I just, like, never met a stranger, you know? Like, and I was able to move around and just adjust to what was going on. And, I mean, it was a challenge in itself, but, like, it was for the good. It was for the greater good as well, because it opened my eyes up to a lot.
Well, how'd you end up with Moorhead?
Okay, so I got a pretty big story on that. It's my junior year of high school. I had a dominant season.
Yeah.
I was at free safety, like only like one high safety with, and I think I had like 65, 4 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, and then like 10 pass breakups or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I was going down, like had like an all-state year.
Yeah.
And my head coach at the time, he had just got there my sophomore year.
Okay.
And he like turned the program around. Like we played in the bowl games in WKU, the first game of the year.
Yeah.
We played Central Hardin my sophomore year. We lost to them, but we played North Hardin and beat them my junior year.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the years. So your sophomore year would have been 2017?
Yeah. And my junior year would have been 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we played North Hardin and beat them. And we was just a winning program. Like, we was top 20 in the state. Like,
yeah.
You know, and then like something that happened like with the player on our team, and it's still crazy to this day. Like, you know, like when you get with the news, like he had played 5 games, and they had ended up taking away 5 of our games. Like, and we had to just win out to make it to the playoffs or like have a chance, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the 5 games that that they took away, we was 5-0, and it was like blowouts, 35-0
type shit. Yeah.
And the player, he was an underclassman, so it's like, it was real deal hatred, like amongst grown men, within like head coaches, like they turned us in, like a former school turned us in, TSSAA, and timed it out and said they're gonna do it like in game 5, or like they had intended on waiting until like game 9, 10. Like, they could have got this out the way in the summer or whatever the case may have been, but they did it smack dab in the middle, or, just because, they was just hating. Like, how it is in high school, like, it's gonna be maybe one kid's on that, like, that's just how it be, like, in high school, like, it ain't like, like other people don't be having it, but then one thing was that, like, his mom had, like, worked at our school as well, so it's like, it was just so much, it was just like this family too, like, this family, like, they was for you, they play for you. I don't get, like, why you so, that's a child, he's, 14, 15, you don't have any control of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's not put in the system, like, he's not put into school, like, he can't just put himself in the school, so he getting these repercussions for that, like, for no reason, and that's what had happened. And my coach, he had ended up leaving at the prime time of like my recruiting process. So he was here probably for the end of December, like the end of the first semester, but January, that's when everything started heating up, and I started getting like OVC interest from every school, and then I got like Army, Air Force, Navy, Ivy League schools pulling up. And then, it's like all that, and I'm with no coach pretty much. So like, I'm kind of like doing this on my own, not really understanding like, okay, like what do I need? What's the requirements to offer at the moment? Like, if I had understood like to take the ACT like earlier, I would have been, committed by July, August, going into my senior year, and then I probably potentially like wouldn't have left because I already like knew what to do before. And I would have been way more prepared, but like, something that happened, and like family issue with the coach and stuff like this. So, like I definitely like respected the decision, but that kind of did like derail where I went, as I went to Georgia, I was balling, and you know, my guy, Coach Browder, he hit me up to show, like, and that was like the first like official, you know what I'm saying, like they not on the fence, they in there, they invested, like, you know what I'm saying. As soon as they talk to me, hey, we gonna offer. Like, and it was just that like riled me up because I had first made the biggest like decision of my life. Like shit was in it was in the newspaper. Like I was a, you know what I'm saying, the top difference maker in the city. Yeah. And when I left, like the news was like, hey, Javian Browder leaves high school like during the season, like, you know what I'm saying, it's on the headlines, like it's dead. Like, and you know what I'm saying, I gotta make the most of it because now people watching me for real. Like I just moved and I'm literally the only one out here, so like everybody's just watching my next move. And when I got that offer, and it was on me, like the coaches thing, like it was just off me. It was just like, man, it was good. And then I had came before COVID. Like my visit was in January, I said. Okay, yeah. 2020, January 2020. So I'm getting the vibe for it, and it was cool. Like it was, I ain't gonna lie.
No, yeah,
that was lit.
Nah, right before COVID, but we were about to hit a stride, bro. We were about to hit a stride. Right before COVID, Morehead was picking back up.
Morehead was for sure lit. Like, and I mean, it was pretty convincing. I had like other visits, and it just wasn't
the same. Yeah,
it wasn't the same vibe. Like it just wasn't, you know, like it didn't feel like home, and then like I didn't feel like I could really thrive in that community or that area. And then like I was already 4 hours away from like home when I was in Atlanta, so I'm like, okay, it's 4 hours away. Like I'm gonna just keep it that way. I've been surviving and living, you know, like when I did it my first semester, like in my senior year. So I just figured, like, you know, like this is pretty good for me. It's a pretty good distance. I'm used to this distance, and I'm gonna make the most of it. So like that's how I got here. Honestly, like he was one of those coaches that just took their chance and like, was locked in from the beginning.
Sure.
And you know, I appreciate him for the opportunity for real, because I'm, I'm still here and I can make the most of it. So
that's definitely
appreciative of like being here for sure.
That's definitely being here can teach you a lot.
It can
teach you a lot. If you've done right, you can humble yourself, get more in tune with yourself, more in line with the higher power and spirituality here, because it's really, you know, but at the same time, so like, because it's really like no in between. So it's either you're gonna go this way or you're gonna go that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the people that go that way kind of leave while they hate it here so bad and they just survive. But people kind of go that way. It's like, it's not the greatest place, but I can make the most of it. I can, you know, I think that's what I kind of learned the most from being here, is make the most out of what you can. Yeah. With the time given, for sure. Like just make the most of your opportunities. Yeah. Every day about decisions. Real life decisions, like every day. So like you are what you make of it, honestly. I mean it's a lot of stuff too, like to appreciate, you know, like, and then, you know what I'm saying, like just having appreciation and being grateful for, like, you know, this school has like a bigger school system than like, you know, KCU is down the road. Like, you gotta think like, it's just a lot of levels to blessings, and you can just, you know, pick one to be thankful for, and that can help you moving forward too, like, and understanding like how thinking positive can put you in the right position. Most definitely. And just being uplifting and just being positive and appreciating where you at the moment, and not just dwelling on things like this, like something that, you know, some people that like end up hating it and stuff, like this is the path that they go on. And it's just like, you just gotta be able to overcome like every obstacle for real. Like, you turn obstacles into stepping stones. Yeah. That's really what you gotta do. Turn obstacles into stepping stones. Like, if you can learn the lesson from the obstacle, you will be able to use that the next time that obstacle comes. Exactly. So that's what I mean, you know, just to clarify what I mean by stepping stone. Like it's a stepping stone to help you, boost you, but it's only if you can have that mindset. Exactly. And only if you can have that mindset. Like, it's so big, so big. Like, you can choose to accept defeat. You can choose not to be defeated. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For real. And then, I mean, just
like turning a loss into a lesson. You know, like not even calling the loss a loss. Like, it's a lesson.
Yeah, from all the way.
You know, like something you can learn from.
Yeah.
Like, and it's something that you can grow from and be better. Like, don't go through it. I always tell myself, like, don't go through it, grow through it.
Well, yeah, no, that's what
you know, because I mean, that's what it is. You're growing, like you're evolving from that point in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can move on to the next chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I think that's like one of the most important things. Just like, you know, like life is hard. Like something's gonna happen. Like something's bound to happen at any given moment. But it's about how you respond to it.
Right. How you,
and how you know, because life. I mean, just like football, that shit teaches you that, like, you know, like life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% of it is how you respond to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it is, though. It's just like, how do you respond to being under pressure? Like, you learn how to do that through sports and, like, you know, other things. Because I mean, it's been times where we've been under pressure. Like, you play baseball?
Back till I was in like 7th grade.
For sure.
6th grade.
What position were you?
I did a little second base, but mainly left field, center field.
For sure. Yeah.
Center field was more me.
Yeah. Like back in the day, like for real, like I ain't no pitcher no more, but yeah, I used to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
You feel me? When you come down to the bottom of like the 9th inning, it's just like, hey, it's gonna make or break you.
Yeah.
You're on that mound, and it's just like what you got cooked up in your glove.
Yeah.
And it's just a life lesson within it, you know, like learning how to work and handle the pressure, like at a young age.
For sure.
Because it's like before you pitch, you got to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's just what it is in life. Though. When you going through something, you just got to take a deep breath and really just relax and just be level-headed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, I don't know, man. I just think like, bro, if we all knew that and understood that, like, bro, we can move forward and then evolve. Like, that's where it starts, though. It starts from within.
Yeah.
And just like we've been saying, like, we gotta blame ourselves for putting ourselves in this situation. And I also want to get on the fault thing as well, because like we gotta understand like the difference between fault and responsibility.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is like it might not be your fault that, you know, like you grew up how you grew up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's your responsibility to fix yourself and get right.
Yes.
You feel me?
For sure.
Like, it ain't your fault that somebody spilled milk on you.
Yep.
But it's your responsibility to take your shirt off and put another one on.
Yeah.
And keep moving.
Yeah.
You know, and fault and responsibility is like kind of where it can start, you know? Like, we gotta stop blaming each other. Like, we gotta look internally.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, honestly, when I started like self-improvement and stuff like that, it was like really good to me because social media wise, you know, I cleared the negativity out.
Yeah.
And I stopped like looking at all the funny stuff. Like, I stopped following the people that people want to be like. I stopped following like the rappers. I stopped following the gold chains. I started looking at things that like would motivate me and keep me uplifted.
For sure.
And it was just always on the forefront. Like, I stopped following IG models. Like, what I need to look and admire for, that's not real life. Like, that's not, they not in front of me every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I did that, bro, like, life started changing.
Yeah.
I started following creators. I started following people that give game. I started following people that have rappers in their shit, but show the real shit and how to get there, and what it took for them to get there. Like, if I'm gonna watch a rapper, I'd rather watch what he went through, what he came for, what he came from, and what it took for him to get there.
For sure.
And it's just like, bro, if you wanna, you know, like, if we just, you know, maximize the same time that we have for use of entertainment,
Into education. Yes.
Bro, like, we gonna move forward. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, that's why like I do what I do. You know, because it's just like, when you know something, you gotta give it away. And just for me to know that and understand that, like, hey, it's so many people that don't know this because I didn't know this. I was top 25 in my class, and I still had no idea of like life for real.
Yeah. No,
and like what it could potentially be for me.
Yeah.
But and you. Cause it ain't just about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you understand like yourself, you gonna understand that like
yourself is bigger than
yourself is bigger than yourself. And you got a bigger purpose than you really know.
Yeah.
Because we all connected.
Yep.
We're all connected. We're all living and existing in the same world. And you know, like, when you understand that, bro, like, we can move forward and just keep going. But it all starts, like, from within.
For sure.
It definitely all starts from within.
Well, how long we been going?
For a minute, for sure. What
Oh,
time?
yeah, 2:25, about 2 hours.
I got a team meeting at 2:45, so that's a great time.
Yeah, perfect time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's close it out then. Well, I didn't even do an intro. I just realized we didn't even do an intro. But it's all right, bro. I appreciate all y'all coming. My boy Javian, you're gonna be seeing more of him. We got things cooking.
For sure.
Appreciate y'all joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you for coming on here, bro.
Yeah,
it's been real.
Sure. I ain't gonna lie, you gotta reset my first name though.
What did I just say?
Javian.
Is this what I just said?
Yeah. Javian.
You said it. Say it for me.
It's Javian for sure. Javian, my Instagram handle is Javian 2.0. It's gonna be right here for sure. And yeah, that's all I got right at the moment. But big things coming for sure. It's definitely a blessing to be on the podcast.
Follow my boy.
Young Bull. Follow me on IG for sure.
We're coming. That's why I said it.
I slept in high point schools and stadiums for almost
I
summer.
think we live in a time where spirituality is at an all-time low.
I've always chased him and everything he did. So anything he did, I did behind him. And I want to be better than him at everything.
To help your kid in any kind of sense because you've been so unplugged from their